Hi everyone. Once again, me and Atish are back with another video. In this video, we'll discuss basics of project management and business analyst. So Atish will tell you about more about this video. Yeah, Atish.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for clicking on this video. So in this video, we will be talking about frequently asked questions in an interview for a business analyst or a project management role. So in this video, Shubham will be telling you about the most frequently asked questions for a project manager role, and I will be talking about the most frequently asked questions for a business analyst role. So let's get started, guys. So Shubham, you tell me what are the questions, what are the mostly frequently asked questions for a project coordinator or project manager role, which you have encountered in your interviews?
Sure. Yeah. So today we will discuss like what are the basic questions or what are the most important questions which you're going to ask in your interview for the project management or project coordinator. So firstly, what exactly the first question interviewer is going to ask you, like, tell me about yourself or introduce yourself. Okay. So for this, like a lot of people got confused, like what exactly we need to reply on that. Okay. And I've seen like a lot of people start from that. My name is Shubham. I'm from Haridwar. These are my hobbies. And then they start working on, I started my internship and all kind of things. So I just want to tell you, like, we need to keep it very simple and short. That's what I realize. Okay. So I just give you one example, like when someone asks me, like, Shubham, tell me about yourself or introduce yourself. So how I used to do. Okay. So first of all, it's all about like, just give your name. Then when you started your professional journey, and then what are your basic KRAs, and then your specialization. Okay. So keep it like this way. So like, let me give you one example. Okay. So if someone asks me like, Shubham, tell me about yourself. So how I used to reply. So my name is Shubham. I started my professional journey in 2018 as a business associate. So I started working in a startup company that's name is Punya Care. And my roles and responsibilities are like, sometimes I need to attend the conference in exhibitions. Sometimes I need to tie up with stakeholders. Sometimes I need to create a presentations. Sometimes I need to give pitch to the investors so that we can get the funding. So these are my roles and responsibilities. After then, I switched my position into IT software development company. And from last 2 years, I've been into the same organization. If I talk about my basic areas, so project management, resource management, team management, quality control, conflict management, some basic documentations are my basic areas. And if I talk about my specialization, so I specialize in 3 skills. One is client relationship management. So I deal with more than 40 plus clients, which includes international and Indian both. So when I say client relationship management, that means like I have the ability where I can relate with the people, where I can, bring some kind of relationship with the people, and which helps me to get a more and more repeated business. And is it well said, like when there is a trust, then there is a negotiation. So this is what I have expertise, that is called client relationship management. Second is all about sales and negotiation. So when I sales and negotiation, so like from my early days only, I love to do selling. And in just last 2 months, I did a selling of more than 10 lakh for my company last 2 months by doing cross selling and upselling. So it's all about like coming up with some new ideas, doing some kind of market research, and telling like how I just come up with this new ideas and convincing the client to take that kind of product, or like this is the approach we need to follow. So this is all about my sales and negotiation. And then all about like project management and team management. So when I say team management, so like early days, I was a cricket captain. So like I have that kind of ability where I can encourage the people, empower the people, and show them the vision. So this is what the ability which I have, from very early days. Then when I say project management, project planning, so I did a planning of more than 15 plus projects. Okay. And a lot of projects are successfully launched on App Store and Play Store. Okay. Because if we talk about we talk about from the scratch, understanding the requirements and everything, and then delivering it successfully, it's always a difficult when you're a part of startup company. So that's also I've done. And my most of like 4 to 5 application is successfully launched on Play Store and App Store. And my 5 website whom I have been a leader, so those are successfully launched on on Google Chrome and all kind of Safari, wherever you can browse that. So now I'm just looking forward to get more exposure where I can learn more process. So that's why I'm just looking forward to this organization. So that's all. So this is how you need to introduce. It's all about like what are the KRAs, what are the things you have done. So just to give a basic introduction about yourself, like these are the things you have done and in which you are expertise in. So like this way that I told you, like so that an interviewer get an idea, okay, this is his hardcore expertise, and they can ask you a question related to that only. Like now they will ask you, okay, Shubham, like you did a selling, so like how good you are. So there is how the things will come up. If you tell them like this is my that, so no one is interested in these kind of things. Okay, so this is how I introduce myself. Now second question is all about like in project management, like what is Agile and Scrum. This is one of the most common question which every interviewer asks. Okay, so for that, Agile, when we say Agile, so Agile is all about like an incremental approach towards a software development product. Okay, so if there is any kind of thing where we have, you know, a kind of incremental approach by one process in kind of, you know, milestone planning, so this is what we say Agile. So now when we say about the Scrum, so next question is all about like what is all about Scrum. Okay, and what exactly the process. So Scrum, it's all about start from the first of all, in Scrum we have three stakeholders involved in Scrum. So first is all about like product owner, then there is a Scrum master, and then there is a development team. So product owner is all about responsibility to understand all kind of requirements, creating a backlog. Okay, product backlog that we say. Then there is a sprint planning that we say, in which like all team members comes and we all have a KT discussion on which we create a sprint backlog. Okay, so then there is a sprint planning, then we create a sprint backlog. In sprint backlog, what exactly we used to do is all about to create some kind of milestone plan, like what exactly the deliverables we need to put for this milestone, what are the deliverables we need to put for second milestone, and what are the deliverables we need to put fourth milestone. After then there will be a Scrum call that will take by Scrum master. So Scrum master takes the initiative from here, and all kind of impediments if team is facing, that's the responsibility for a Scrum master. So what exactly, like some, you know, interviewer asked like what exactly the role of Scrum master, why what exactly the best quality of Scrum master. So for that, Scrum master is more over a servant leader. Okay, so they don't used to be an authoritative guy. He used to motivate the people, encourage them, and show them the proper vision, like what exactly you need to achieve. So this is the role of Scrum master. Then we have a Scrum call. Every day we need to take a Scrum call of 15 minutes that we also call stand-up call, just to understand what exactly the team has done and what's the plan for today. Is there any kind of impediments? After then we have a once we complete this thing, then we have an increment, I mean the product increment, where we put the deliverable. So that's the next step where we are about to launch the product. For that, there is a sprint review, which is also done by the Scrum master, like whatever the expectation met from the client, are we meeting that or not? So this is what we do in sprint review, and after then we deploy the product. So this is how the process of Scrum works. And after then there is we call a sprint retrospective. So most of the interviewer asked you what is all about sprint retrospective. So it is very simple. It's all about like in that milestone, what are the things which went well and how you can improve that, what exactly went well, or what are the things which gone not well. Okay, so in that case you just improve those kind of things, those circumstances, to make your product for that milestone more better. So this is how you can tell them like how this is all about the approach of Scrum and all. Now next question, what exactly the next question the interviewer can ask you, what is all about, I mean risk management and how you mitigate that. Okay, so this is what the next question is. So when we say about the risk management, it's all about like what are the risks you have been through with any of your project. Okay, because when you are into project management, so there's there is always be a chance of risk. Okay, so for that, like how you create a documentation of risk and how you make it that like how to mitigate it. Okay, so they ask you generally like is there any kind of risk you have been faced? So for that the answer is simple, yes, you can say. So I'll tell you one example. Okay, so from this you can understand what is all about risk and how you can mitigate it. Okay, so when we say about risk, so like for me, one of my projects, so in that there is we don't have that resource of Node.js. So Node is one of the language, okay, which is one of the popular language. Okay, so for that project we have only one resource. That resource is solely dependent on that project and he's continuously working on that. For me, the risk is that if he's going to be ill or if he's going to resign us, so that's going to be risk for us because I don't have any other resource for that. Okay, so how can I, so this is one thing which I put it that this is the risk. Then how I can mitigate it. So for the mitigation of that, I put another resource. For that, I also allocate him around 2 or 3 hours so that he also understands some kind of basic of the project. So in case if he resigned or if he's not able to come up with us, so in that case, that resource can jump and save us from the things. Okay, so this is all about the risk, and this is what I do for mitigation plan. Like that resource we need to put for 2 hours to understand all about the project, so that if that resource is going to be leave us. So this is all about like a risk. And there are a lot of things, like some kinds, there are some new technology, like there is some kind of new things. Okay, for that you need to give some kind of R&D, so that's also one of the risks for you. So for that, like in early time, only in the starting of the project, you just give the things to your team, like this is the risk, and like you need to be mitigated in early time only, because at the time of sprint end, so then it's going to be difficult for you. Okay, so this is what the third question is. Now next comes to next, what is next question? So next question, generally people used to ask you like, how can you measure your project health? Okay, and how can you track your team? So for that, like how you can reply, because for me, I just used to create a work breakdown structure. Okay, in that work breakdown structure, I used to take the number of hours that we say estimation from the team members, that for this functionality it will take 4 hours or 6 hours or 8 hours. Okay, so you used to create that work breakdown structure flow, and in that you mention all the number of hours which team has taken, and every day, every morning when you come on a call, then understand like what exactly they have done, and just mark green or red by tracking them as they have done that or not. Okay, so this is how you just monitor your project health. And suppose if the team is not able to reach at that level, and you see like there is a kind of things which we are not able to meet this deadline, so for that you have you have other planning as well, you can plan that. So that's why it is very important that you just track or measure the health of your project as well with your team. So this is another thing. Then the interviewer can ask you about the scenarios. Okay, so it's all about like behavior scenarios, how you react in that kind of thing, because when you are into project management, it's all about like how much patience you are, how you react, how you improve some kind of relationship with your team members, and what exactly the decision you have taken to make your project progressive. Okay, so a lot of times interviewer is going to ask you like, Shubham, if this is the scenario, like one of the challenge you can tell us in your project which you have faced and how you have overcome for that. Okay, so for me, like I faced one, like I need to deploy a project in just 2 months, and for that I can totally understand that this project is not going to be deployed in 2 months. Okay, because we don't have that much capable resource. But by knowing that as well, I just said agreed with the client and start working with my team. And on the backlog, we just got more hiring and hiring. Like I just asked my HR team to hire such kind of capable resource who can work on this project. Okay, so this way I used to deal with that thing. And then it's all about like the relationship that you build with the client. Okay, and so this is one of the challenge which I faced in one of my project. And for that, like I used to come with some new stories and bring a trust with the client that you just allow us some time, and for that we will definitely going to make it. So one of the difficult project, but yeah, finally I did that project. It takes almost 5 to 6 months, but still we have successfully launched that on the French market. So this is how you can tell any kind of scenarios, because there will be different scenarios for everyone's project. Okay, so this is how you can tell that this is the scene and how you have just overcome. So these are the basic 4-5 questions which is going to be asked to you in your project management. And there are a lot of tools they will ask you for that, like if you don't have worked on any kind of tools. Okay, so for that you can tell one reason, like this is why the reason I just want to join that kind of organization for the process flow. So these are the things. So you need to play very smartly, you need to reply very smartly, because they also check like what is all about your sense of humor, how much you are good in communication skills, and how you react. Because a lot of time you don't have answer for all the questions, because there are a lot of questions in project management. There will be a budgeting as well, then there is a sprint burn down chart as well. So there are a lot of questions they can ask you, but for that, how you react them and how react them confidently and take every game on your side. So this is what exactly you need to do. And these are the 5 basic questions which generally you will going to face in every interview in your project management career. Okay, and that also, apart from that, there is most of them is all about like related to your industry. Like suppose if I'm into mobile application website development, so there are a lot of questions related to APIs or SDK or payment gateway. So that's also depend upon your organization as well. So you need to prepare that as well. So that's all from my side, and this is how I faced so far my interview, and this is how I've gone through, and this is how you reply. So these are the basic questions. So if you cover those questions, so you'll definitely going to clear that interview. So that's all, Atisha, from my side. And now I just want to know your experience. Okay, like you have also, interviewed in a lot of big MNC companies. So what was your experience and how you deal with that situation, how you introduce yourself? So I just want to know that. Okay. Thank you, Atisha. Yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely. And bro, the answers you gave are amazing. Uh, you have covered most of my questions. So guys, if you are appearing for a business analyst interview or if you're appearing for a project manager interview, more or less the questions are these only, which Shubham just iterated. You will be asked upon your past experience, your current experience, what projects you're involved in. Also, you will be asked questions on what is the software development life cycle, or SDLC in short, you are following. Is it waterfall? Is it agile? Is it any other technology or any other methodology? So whatever question Shubham just told you, there's a crossover or there's an intersection. Most of these questions are also asked in a business analysis interview. But couple of questions which our interviewer will emphasize more for a business analyst profile is number one, documentation. You need to be very, very, very good in documentation, be it creating BRDs, business request documents, FRD, and SRS. So always try to rekindle your knowledge about these three concepts. Go to the internet, study what are the differences. If you have not made the SRS or FRD, study the differences between these three documentations. Also, the interviewer might ask you to prepare a quick BRD or quick FRD on the go. They can give you 5 to 10 minutes and they will ask you, or they can ask you, what are all the elements which you will put in the BRD documentation or SRS documentation. So make sure you know the difference, okay, what elements are in all these documents. So this is a very, very, very important question, documentation. Also, the another important question for a business analyst interview is requirement elicitation or requirement analysis. So we as business analysts, we're responsible for taking out the requirements from the client and passing on the requirements to the product team or the project team or the project engineers, software developers. So it's very important for us that we do our homework in a very efficient way. We take the requirements properly so we can effectively pass on those requirements to the team for actual development of the project. So they can ask you different project elicitation techniques. So you can tell them about brainstorming sessions with the stakeholders, focus group sessions with the stakeholders, one-on-one interview with the SME, subject matter expert, getting demonstration of the current as-is process. So these are different approaches which you can study about requirement elicitation question. Okay, how to do requirement elicitation. So this is another question, very frequently asked question in a business analyst interview. Apart from it, you will be asked upon, as Shubham have already covered that topic, what is Agile? What is Agile manifesto? Why companies are going for Agile instead of traditional waterfall method or any other SDLC? So read about Agile, know the terminology of Agile, what is a sprint retrospective, what is Scrum, what is different between Agile and Scrum, why Agile is being adopted now instead of waterfall, what were the drawbacks of waterfall model. So make sure you have your basics right about Agile and SDLC life cycles. Apart from it, a very, very, very important question, which you should know as a business analyst is, what are user stories? How to create user stories, how to write user stories, what is the significance of user stories? So in a nutshell, user stories are nothing, it's an informal general explanation of a software feature written from the perspective of a user, of an end user. Okay, we use an acronym called INVEST. That every user story should be or have to be independent, negotiable, valuable. It should have an estimation. It should be concise or small, or it should be testable. Okay, so you need to follow this acronym INVEST when you're writing your user stories. So when the question of user stories arises, the interviewer can also ask you, do you know Jira? Because Jira is a highly used platform among the corporates, among the clients, among the organizations for writing stories on Jira, and also for managing the sprint, for managing the task of a sprint. So you should also study about Jira. If you're not using Jira in your current organization, I would highly recommend you to maybe watch some tutorials on Jira and know about the tool, learn that. You need to learn about Jira also. And the last, you need to at least prepare a presentation or a brief of one project of yours as a business analyst. So make sure you know in and outs of a project or of a project which you have done as a business analyst, what you have done, what was the problem statement, what was the as-is process, what was the deliver or the to-be process, what kind of return on investment you have given. It could be efficiency, it could be money in terms of money, it could be in terms of productivity. So you need to know the in and outs of a project as a business analyst, which you have done. Okay, because the interviewer can ask you, explain me one of your projects. So these are pretty much the questions or the frequently asked questions you can be asked about business analysts. And like I said, business analyst and project manager questions are more or less similar in many aspects, because you need to be organized, you need to be disciplined, you need to be very good on the technological front, you need to know about the technology you're using, you need to show a lot of teamwork, you need to show a lot of team communication and team collaboration. So these are pretty much all the questions you can answer as a business analyst, or you can be asked for a business analyst profile.
That's really awesome, Atisha. That's really awesome the way you have explained. I think most of the people don't have idea and they get much of the clarity, like how they can go in the interview and what are the basic questions of the business analyst. They can get an idea. Okay, that's cool. Just one thing, Atisha, I just want to ask you, because there are a lot of questions, and I've seen like a lot of people don't know much idea on that as well. So can you give them the idea about what is epic? Because this is a basic terms, but still people got confused. What is epic? What is user stories? And what is all about subtask or sprint? Okay, so if you can guide them, like what is all about them, so that's also cool. Yeah,
absolutely. So epic is a high level description of what the client wants. Inside that epic, there are different elements of stories, which we call stories, or we can say small tasks called user stories. One user story can be login page. Another user story can be sign up page. Another user story can be forget password, if you are forgetting the password or something like that. So these are called user stories. Inside a big module which you have to create, small user stories. Okay, so this is how this is what we call epic, and this is what we call user stories. Okay, so user stories is a subset of epic. A bigger epic is made up of user stories. So that is how you can explain to interviewer also using this example or similar examples.
Yeah, perfect, Atisha. So it's very simple. Like if there is anything, it's all about like high level requirements, all about the epic. So wherever you have the complete product backlog, if you get all kind of requirements, so you just set that in your epic one by one. That's also depend upon how you prioritize, how big your project is as well. Okay, then there is a stories, it's all about the subtasks. And then there is the user stories, then there is a subtask that you use to perform in your sprint. So this is how the process will be. And like that's all good from our side. And so I think now that's all from our side. Atisha, do you want to say something now, or shall we proceed ahead for the further?
Yeah, I believe, guys, we have covered the frequently asked questions for a business analyst and a project manager profile. But in case you have more concerns, you want to know more about these frequently asked questions, or you need some more guidance in preparing for these interviews, so we will be posting our email ID in the video description. I will be posting mine, and I will also tag in Shubham's email ID, so you can redirect your question to us directly. Any help, any guidance which you need for the interview preparation. And wish you guys all the best for your interviews, upcoming interviews.
I hope you will get some relevant thing from this video, and me and Atisha will continue with this way only on project management and business analyst, and related to all kind of things which is related to helpful your career. Okay, so just stay tuned with me and Atisha, and we'll get back with some other video as well. So and you can like as well to our channel, and also if you want to have any kind of question, just write that query. We'll definitely going to answer on that query as well. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.